It's been 10 days since I'm in Italy now, and something that really strikes me here is how people take their time with each other, how people are very much present to what is around them, to the people, to their environments. Obviously, they walk very slow. And first of all, I'm enjoying... Oh, I need to sneeze. Ouh là là. Ouh là là. Allez, regarde le ciel. Regarde la lumière. It's not here. Anyways. And obviously, I came here with an intention, to just really look around and to really make sure that I feel things and that I just don't make a decision based off of criterias or, because I have my criterias. My criterias are dogo friendly, that life here is cheaper than France or the Netherlands, that we're close to the sea, the mountain, and the nature. This is the Holy Trinity. If I have the three of them, amazing. If I have 2 out of 3, amazing. If I have 1 out of 3, amazing as well. But I do need to have at least 1 out of 3. That the integration process is not too complicated when it comes to paperwork, and obviously that there's a community of entrepreneurs, creatives, and places where I could meet people, that there's life, that I don't just end up in a small village right from the start, and that people are just open, that we connect easily to each other, that there's a sense of hey, we're human beings, something that I've missed a lot between France and the Netherlands, where even the smallest interactions of ordering coffee or saying good morning into a shop becomes a whole lot of stress, where people are just like, what the fuck do you want? Qu'est-ce que vous voulez? Wat wil je? Do you know what I mean? So I talked a lot about this in the other episode about choosing Italy, but after 10 days of being here, the biggest thing that I observe is that people are really present. They really feel like they're present to where they are, to the people they're surrounded with, to the work that they're doing, and even going to the grocery shop, they're not in a hurry. They take their time. They say good morning. They say hi. They ask you sometimes how you're doing. They ask you if you want to pay by card or by contanti. They take their time. They feel very much at peace also with themselves, at peace with the work that they're doing. And even going to the coffee shop, there's a coffee place now next to where I live, literally 3 minutes. First of all, coffee is not expensive at all, but even the way they just do the coffee, sometimes people be banging on the machine, on the coffee machine, putting the coffee, it's spread everywhere, it's dirty, it's filthy, it's sometimes I go to coffee places, I'm like, I don't even want to buy from you because it looks so fucking dirty. I have a problem with dirty places, first of all, but I also have not a problem, but I'm like, if you love making coffee, if you love being a barista, or even if you are just doing this job out of, I don't know, necessity, treat treat everything like it is precious, and maybe it's just an education thing, or my relationship to everything that is around me. But even the bench, even where I sit right now, I treat it as something that is very precious, because I know a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into creating that bench for me to sit my fat ass and have a moment for myself, enjoying the sun. So I make sure that there's no filth, I clean after myself, I pick up my shit, and I just respect it, it's I respect. I feel like everything is precious, so I respect. And then being here, speaking of which, being here and seeing people just do their job, they do it with the utmost care, they do it with, it is precious, maybe in their heads it's oh my god, I am so blessed and grateful to have a job, and at the same time to have the job that I actually want to be doing. So that brings about another mood to the place you're at. When I go to that coffee place, let's go back to that example. It's a tiny coffee place. It's called La Tipica, and it's a coffee that they're creating. Everything that they do is they make it themselves. but even the way she does the coffee, I was just looking at her, at how much care she put the coffee in, and then you have that instrument to sort of like make it flat, and then the other instrument to sort of clean everything, and she does it like slowly, you know, she does it slow. And for me, like doing it slow, and especially for coffee, is a reflection of how you actually want to drink your coffee. You want to take time, you know. And then thinking of that notion of time, I'm like, putain, en fait, taking your time is really something that they do everywhere, in everything, you know. The way they bring you your food, the way they place the copertino, what the fuck, the cutlery, even the cutlery, you know, it's rolled, it's put on this little piece of stone or whatever. Like everything is detailed, everything is precious. They think of the customer experience as something very precious, or at least this is how I felt it, you know, in every place I've been to. Not only when I ate inside, I mean, I didn't eat that much indoors, but even when I took out, you know, everything was just like, even cutting a slice of pizza, it's not like you know, destroying the metal or like the plate. It's not done fast. Even a fast food place is going to take their time to serve you. And I was just like reflecting over this notion of time, you know, because even when you, again, that coffee place, I asked them a question. I asked them, hey, but it's so different. Like the way you make coffee is very different that when I order coffee in France or in Amsterdam. Like, first of all, the Americano is, you know, they just serve it sometimes filled with water. So it's just one espresso shot and then water, right? But then the pricing is going to be very different. Like I'm able to pay €4.50 for a fucking Americano, which is an espresso with hot water. Like, let's just think about that for 5 seconds. And then sometimes they're going to put a lot of water, sometimes not enough. So depending on how you want your Americano taste is going to differ. And sometimes you're going to have a nice experience, sometimes not. And what I like here is that they put the emphasis on the quality of the drink. While sometimes I feel like in France or in Amsterdam, because I've lived in those countries and cities, I feel like there's a lot of emphasis put on the aesthetics, you know, the aesthetics of the cup, because it's a biodegradable cup, or the aesthetics of the shop, the coffee shop, because it's all, you know, minimal and minimalistic and nice colors and marble and whatever. And I feel like I'm paying more for the rent than I'm really paying for the coffee, to be honest. And on top of that, I don't feel like sometimes the coffee is that good, but I'm not even paying for the quality of how the coffee was made, if that makes sense. And being here and asking her, I'm like, oh, it's very different. She's like, well, you know, here it's like an Americano is just an espresso shot. First of all, she was like, we have a lot of debate around that. So I love how they asked her themselves that question. But also, like, it's just, again, the fact that she gives me the option to tailor the coffee to my taste. Do you know what I mean? So it's not so much as like, okay, here's your Americano, fuck off, take it or leave it. Here is also like they invite you into their own process. And again, there's that return on how precious coffee is. And maybe because Italians have that culture of coffee, then it might be different, okay? And maybe I'm making such a big fuss about nothing, but it's that sense of we love what we're doing here, and we want to invite the customer to have their own experience of the coffee. So here you go. And she gave me that espresso shot, and then she gave me a little I'm gonna call it a cup of water, of hot water, a saucer. It was put into a saucer. And so again, it made that experience of drinking my own Americano so much so special, you know. It made it even more special because I was considered into their process. I was invited, and again, they took their time to do that coffee. Everything was clean, and it was not so much about the aesthetics, but it was about, again, that connection that they had with me. They took their time to actually answer my question, and she blabbered, you know. She really was like, you could see that it is important for her to make coffee, and plus they create their own coffee. So all in all, again, coming back, dégage-toi, petite mouche. all in all, coming back to that question of time and to that notion of time, I loved that. I loved that they took their time to explain to me, to give me their opinions, obviously because I asked, but I also loved the fact that they smiled, that they interacted with me, that they're so into what they're doing, and that they take their time. Nothing is optimized. Nothing is like it's not so much about, oh, she's paying me for a coffee, so there you go. It's not like transactional, it's really like a whole experience. And I think that whole experience, once again, is provided because they take their time, because they love what they're doing. And I'm just so passionate, I don't know if it's the word, but I'm so grateful for that. And it makes me want to connect even more. I know I'm going everywhere with this story of coffee and time and taking your time and experience and everything, but I don't know, it just really hit me that they do that with their coffee, but they do that also in their restaurants. They do that in the, what's it called, at the grocery store. Like, I had this encounter with the person at the casa, the cashier, who I bought a couple of articles, and then I was like, oh my god, can I just switch? I switched 2 articles, and I'm so used to rushing, because when you're at the casa and when you forget something or when you change your mind, like, I'm so used to people being almost like angry at me for changing my mind or for removing an article, that I even in my whole being, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's like, oh no, non ti preoccupare. She's like, oh no, don't worry. And he was like, do you want to exchange? I was like, yeah, is it possible? He's like, yeah, of course. And then it didn't take him anything, to switch and to cancel that the previous order and to remove it. And I even took it to replace it on the shelf. He's like, oh no, non ti preoccupare, I'll do it. And then I was like, mais wow, tu vois? So that thing, again, I don't know if it's even about taking your time or more about creating a human experience and having a human experience with another person, that is striking me most for the past 10 days. But vraiment, j'adore. I really, really, really love it. And I think that vision that I've had of just having more human interactions and less transactional interactions is really taking its whole purpose and sense and meaning here in Italy. So franchement, there's a lot that we can learn up north about human interactions, and that personally comforts me, into my next adventure, into bringing even more of that into my next projects, into my next vision and dreams, because I have a lot of ideas. And I think that I might have been put off sometimes because I give so much, I give so much, and I love giving, I love creating these spaces, and I've loved doing that. But I've always been confronted with the fact that people sometimes are too much in the transactional space. So ça te dégoûte, sometimes you're a bit disgusted, you're like, oh, vas-y, ça me saoule, you're a bit like, oh, fais chier, But now this gives me hope again, and it gives me comfort into, non, Sabrine, bring about your ideas to reality, because we need more of that, and I need more of that, and I want more of that. So I don't know, all in all, again, it creates that sense of we need more of that. We need more of that time to just be together, to treat each other as human beings, even in the smallest interactions, parce que it's precious. And for me, it really made my day. Like the fact that I talked with that woman at the coffee shop this morning really made my day. I left out there with like the biggest of smiles. I was like, c'est génial. Same for the dude at the grocery shop, Donc voilà. Allez, I leave you with that. Food for thought.